Welcome to the series on your first analytics engineering project. Now, if you're like me, when you first started out with your data journey, you may have found loads of questions like, how do I bring data into my data warehouse? Isn't it going to cost me loads of money to operate this data warehouse? And how do I even get data from the warehouse into my reports? Over the course of this series, we're going to acquire some data from our CRM over in HubSpot, and we're going to enter some data into HubSpot. We're going to be using a fantasy company, Wise Muffins Muffins, where we will be selling muffins to various companies. We're going to take that data from our CRM and move it into our data warehouse. And we're going to do that in part 3, where we use a data ingestion tool called Fivetran. And that will load our data into our data warehouse. Once the data is in the warehouse, we're going to do some best practices around data modeling, and we're going to be using a tool called DBT, Database Transform, where we will be modeling out our data, get it ready for our reporting layer, which we're going to be doing within Tableau. To give you an idea of what we will have accomplished by the end of this series, let's just have a quick look and dive to the very end of this project and just show you some of the tools and techniques that we will have applied during the course of this project. Over in HubSpot, we'll have entered in records for deals for when we've sold muffins. This data is then going to be ingested into Snowflake, and we're going to do this via Fivetran. And as you can see, we've got a schedule set up where Fivetran is picking up the data from our CRM, HubSpot, and it is loading it into our data warehouse. It will occur over a set interval that we'll do in part 3. Once we have the data in Snowflake, we're then going to be able to start to model the data within DBT. Now, DBT has some really cool features. I won't go into all of them. There'll be tons of links in the show notes below. Just to demo some of the coolest features, we'll have data lineage. We can see dependencies for each model, upstream and downstream. So we know if we change a model, what it may break or what it may depend on, as well as being able to generate documentation for the models that we're building so that it's very transparent around the business rules that we're applying to each of our metrics. And then finally, over in Tableau, we're going to be connecting to our Snowflake instance so that we can generate some reports. And we'll just go through a dummy scenario where one of our directors over in marketing have asked us a particular question. We will produce a report to answer their questions. Let's get started on your first analytics engineering project.